morning, everyone. Appreciate everybody being here at our March 28th Madison County Fiscal Court meeting. It's good to have everybody here. It's great to see you. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Clerk Barger, if you will, please call the roll.
Master Combs.
Here.
Master Lockwood.
Here.
Master Hughes.
Here.
Master Botkin.
Present.
Judge Taylor.
Here. At this time, I'd like to invite my friend Chad Snellgrove up. Chad, to lead us in a word of prayer. Chad's at White Oak Pond Christian Church. So great to have you, Chad.
Thank you all so much. I also wear the hat of the Richmond Ministers Association, their president, and so would like to invite all of you to our Holy Week services that will happen next week. They start at noon. They're 30 minutes, so you can come in, get the service, and then go and get some lunch or bring your sandwich. You can even eat. I don't know, I should have run that by Bruce. You could eat your sandwich while you're doing the service. But the hardest part is keeping ministers to under 30 minutes. But we are going to do that, and on Friday we'll actually have a soup luncheon afterwards there at the Methodist Church. So
y'all were drawn from the bottom of the barrel for Wednesday, Chad, I have to say. Yeah.
Yes, we are excited to have Rob preaching on Wednesday.
Yeah, my brother's preaching on Wednesday, yeah.
And we even reached the mayor's going to be there on Friday, so we made him work that day.
Yeah,
and so, but it's a lot of wonderful voices and a real kind of representation of the entire community. So we want to make sure everybody can be there for it. Good. Terrific. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here and to bring this word. Let us join in the spirit of prayer. Almighty God, as we gather here in this space today, we recognize that it is a time of preparation. It is a time of preparation, a time of transition within our world right now, as the crisp mornings then come into a warmer afternoon. We're beginning to see the buds on the trees, and we see that life is continuing to change, and we're preparing for a time of spring that means new life and that nurtures our very souls. It's a time of preparation as well, O Lord, that as we come together in this space today, that we think about the business of our community and of our county and of our world. And so we recognize that it is important that we come into this place today to prepare for who we will be as a community together. We recognize that we stand shoulder to shoulder with our neighbors, and that we have a responsibility to watch out for each other, to care for each other, and to share peace and love, and also to be there, to hold each other accountable, to create a community that reflects values that are deeply instilled in each and every one of us. So as we gather in this space today, we pray for our community. We pray for our leaders, that as they gather and as they take on these issues around the administration of our world and the politics of our community, that what drives them is what is deep inside of us, a connection to the Almighty, a connection to each other, and a connection to our world. So be with us as we share this day. Be in our conversations, that they might be productive, and always calling us to look out, especially for those who do not have a voice and who are on the margins. Be with us as we continue to seek out ways to be more of who we've been created to be in our lives and in this world. That our community might be a city on the hill that can shine a light to this world and show what coming together and how it can make a difference. For deep inside of each of us is this beautiful createdness, that we reflect the image of the divine, and that we recognize that coming together, we create a world that looks more and more like you each and every day. This is our prayer, O Lord. We're grateful that we can come together to do this together. It's in the name of peace that we offer it. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Chad. Sheriff, if you will, lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for
Thank you, Sheriff. Members of the court, y'all have had a chance to look over our meeting minutes from our previous meeting. That was our meeting that was on March the 14th. I need a motion and a second to approve.
Make a motion. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
We get the changes made Robin asked about in the minutes. Thank you.
All right, hearing no discussion, call the roll.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is the treasurer's report. Good morning, Glenna.
Good morning. In your Dropbox, you'll have the financial report, which is public record. If anyone would like a copy, you can contact the treasurer's office and I can send you one. Our total fund balance as of February 28th, 2023 is $36,230,325.73. Our general fund revenues as of 2/28/23 is at 86%. Our expenditures are at 32.4%. Our road fund revenues are at 90% and our expenditures are at 58.6%. Our jail fund revenues are at 82.7% and our expenditures are at 63.6%. Our LGEA fund is at 81.2% on revenues and 24.5% on expenditures. CSEP fund is at 25.8% on revenues and 24.5% on expenditures. 911 fund is at 62% on its revenues and expenditures are at 56.4%. And our health fund revenues are at 52.5%, our expenditures are at 57.6%. Does anybody have any questions about the report or the vendor's claims or anything they would like to address?
Any questions, members of the court?
If not, I also have, as the DLG manual says, that I present the fiscal court with a copy of a draft budget for the jail fund by April 1st. So I do have a copy, a draft copy of the jail fund. Now, this does not include any changes in salaries or benefits, any kind of matches or anything like that. But it does have all the line items that we have discussed in our budget meetings, the changes to those. So you're welcome to look at these, and if you have any questions, you can call me. In April, we will be giving out a full draft of the entire budget, which will include the jail budget too.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I helped create it.
And that's all I have.
Any questions? All right, hearing none. Thanks, Glenna. Appreciate it. First order of business today is we have several proclamations, and it's always good to recognize some of our great nonprofits and great community leaders that are helping in meeting people's needs every day. The first proclamation today is recognizing hunger awareness and proclaiming the month of March. Is that right? Month of March as Hunger Awareness Month. And we have some from our Home Meals group that are going to come up. Yes, Laura. Yep. Oh, gosh. So, recognition of hunger awareness, whereas no person in Madison County, Kentucky should have to go hungry. And whereas 13.5 million American households, including 2.3 million with children, are consistently unable to get enough food to eat, according to the USDA's report on household food insecurity. And whereas hunger has adverse consequences for all Americans, in particular children and mothers. And whereas hunger impedes growth and development. And whereas hunger is a significant predictor of adverse health conditions. And whereas God's outreach community, Food Bank, Richmond Food Bank, at New Liberty Family Shelter, Home Meals Delivery, and Salvation Army of Madison County work daily to stamp out hunger in our community. And whereas local businesses, area churches and schools, Eastern Kentucky University faculty, staff and students, and local potters unite each year to donate various talents and resources to raise hunger awareness through the Madison County Empty Bowls Project. Now therefore, I, Reagan Taylor, Madison County Judge Executive, and the Madison County Fiscal Court do hereby proclaim the month of March 2023 as Madison County Hunger Awareness Month, and urge all citizens to support efforts to end hunger in the County of Madison and the Commonwealth of Kentucky, the United States of America, and the world.
seating and takeout this year. Last year, of course, we just had takeout, and 2 years before that, we had COVID, so we didn't have anything. But this year, 11 to 3, come and eat, pick a bowl out, eat. We have vegetable soup, hoe cakes, and drinks. 3 to 4 is to go only. The minimum donation is $15 for a bowl and the meal. We will have quart and pint containers of soup to go, so if you want to take some home for the weekend or take some to a shut-in, that will be fine. And like Reagan said, 100% of the proceeds go to God's Outreach Madison County Food Bank, New Liberty Shelter and Food Bank, Home Meals Delivery, Salvation Army of Madison County. And you can follow us on Facebook at Madison County Empty Bowls, and when the bowls start coming in tomorrow, we'll put pictures. And the Madison Dulcimers are coming to play at lunch, so come and enjoy some good music and the bowl and eat some soup. And support our local food banks. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate what all you do. Next is a proclamation recognizing child abuse and calling it Prevention Month in April. National Child Abuse Prevention Month will be recognized throughout the United States, as well as in the Commonwealth of Kentucky during the month of April. Whereas children are vital to our state's future success, prosperity, and quality of life, as well as being our most vulnerable assets. And whereas all children deserve to have a safe, stable, nurturing home and community to foster their healthy growth and development. And whereas child abuse and neglect are a community's responsibility, affecting both the current and future quality of life of a community. And whereas communities that provide parents with the support and the resources to ensure all children grow in their full potential. And whereas effective child abuse prevention strategies succeed because of partnerships created among all citizens. Now, therefore, we, Madison County Judge Executive Reagan Taylor, Richmond Mayor Robert Blythe, and Berea Mayor Bruce Fraley, do hereby jointly proclaim April as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Madison County, Kentucky, and call upon all citizens to increase their participation in our efforts to support families, thereby preventing child abuse and strengthening the communities in which we live. Victoria.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for this proclamation. This is always the fun of what we do, just to raise awareness. The symbol of Child Abuse Prevention Month is a pinwheel. It's a blue and silver pinwheel, and that is to represent the happy childhoods that all children should have and deserve to have. So on Monday, April 10th, from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Hall of Justice, we will be planting 301 pinwheels. So I encourage you all to come out. That's a lot of pinwheels for us to put down. And then that Wednesday, the 12th of April, we will be doing it at City Hall in Berea. And again, that's 301 pinwheels. So we need lots of help to get this 301 pinwheels in the ground. And you might be thinking, why 301? It's a really strange number. And that is the number of substantiated cases of abuse and neglect in Madison County in 2022. So those 301 is all children that were in Madison County last year that were abused and neglected. So each pinwheel will represent one of those kids. So please come out and help us and just recognize the magnitude of the issue we have and how we can help make this better. And we also are trying to raise awareness just in our community at large, and so we are holding a door window decorating contest. So we're asking anybody to decorate with blue, with pinwheels, anything happy, to help raise awareness of Child Abuse Prevention Month. And lastly, this Friday, March 31st, is National Wear Blue Day. So please, I encourage all of you to wear blue to show your support for these kids that don't have a voice and are often forgot about. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is a proclamation recognizing National Public Safety Telecommunicators. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services. And whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is dependent upon the quality and the accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Madison County 911 Emergency Communication Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of Madison County 911 have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. Now, therefore, we, Madison County Judge Executive Reagan Taylor, Richmond Mayor Robert Blythe, and Berea Mayor Bruce Fraley, do hereby jointly proclaim the week of April 9th through the 15th, 2023 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Berea, Richmond, and Madison County, Kentucky, and encourage all citizens to honor the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our community safe. Wendy, team.
Raising the camera there. You realize that?
Floor is
Not
yours.
far from you, buddy.
Thank you all again this year for the wonderful proclamation, for all the hard work that they do. I was just going to give a brief update. That's one of my favorite parts about this being that time of year is I get to come in and kind of talk about what we do and everything going on. So Tele Week is what we call it, Telecommunicators Week, April 9th through 15th, but also every April is also National 911 Education Month. So we'll be putting a lot of stuff out on our Facebook about that. One of the things that we'll put out is some cards were passed out. It's Smart 911. That is something that's offered to the citizens by all three of the governments since we're in a joint interlocal agreement, and that's how 911 is ran. So all three governments participate in putting in funds so we can have this great program and the app work here. The app works also all across Kentucky and the whole state of Tennessee and several other states. There's lists, and when you go to the Smart 911, it'll tell you. It's really nice if you're traveling. But you download the app, and then we have that where you can scan. You can find information on our Facebook about it. It's great when you call in 911 because it gives us as much information as you would like us to have about you when you call in. So if you're in a wreck and not at your home, we still know your home address if we need to make contacts and find people. It's really good for medication lists, and that's always something when people call 911. You usually don't have medication lists right in front of you. I will say we had an incident out of state in Tennessee where we went to the hospital, and I did not have my husband's medications listed or with me at the time, and he had had a heart attack, so it was very easy for me to just pull up my app, and I had all my medication list with me. So it came in handy. Even though I didn't have to call 911, it still has handy uses. So that's just a little bit about Smart 911. I talk about it a lot, so I won't stay on it all day, but it's smart911.com, and then you can download the app. For 2022, just a little update for total CAD calls, and what that means is computer-aided dispatch. So when we get a call for service and it comes in on 911, we put it in our computer system, and it tells us which jurisdiction, which agency, and who to go, and then we follow the call through and close it out. So we had 126,433 CAD calls for 2022. For our phone data, in 2022, we had 75,425 administrative calls come into our center. That's not counting our outgoing calls. 911 calls, we had 47,240 come in, so a total of 119,665 phone calls were taken. That was for 2022. We're very excited that we've opened a new training position as we have grown and we are bigger, and we are limited with classes with the state. We're competing against all 120 counties to get into those leadership courses and to all those other things. So we created a training position. So Laramie Scott is our new training coordinator. He came to us in September. Since his arrival, we have really set standards for our in-house training program. We have kind of blocked that out into phases. We've created an internal leadership development program and also a new training officer program. And what that means is those of us that train the new people in the dispatch center day to day, not just his position of initial training, they have to go through a program and meet requirements to be able to teach. And then they have daily observation reports they fill out, and then quizzes and different things they have to go over. For our training hours, we just recently started logging the actual hour amount. We usually just log what classes we take, but in January we had 105 hours in-house with all of us. In February we had 608 hours because we had 3 in the academy, so each of those got 160. March right now we're at 268, but we still have training to log because we were gone to a conference last week to present, and then we have training to complete. We still have some to complete, so we've come a long way with that, and so we're very proud of that with our training. So if you all have any.
Hey, would you talk a little bit, just, I know you're just gonna probably, to you, gonna feel like you're patting yourself on the back, but I would like for you to explain, because I don't know enough about where you just came back from, but I do know that I'm proud of you all, and it's on a national level. You leading a conference, a class, for
Yes,
911.
yes, we went to Missouri Public Safety Communications Conference. We have one in Kentucky each year as well. Laramie had some contacts with Missouri that he had done some training with, so they opened up the white papers. So we put in, because we're very proud of, one, how far we've come on Facebook and our social media. So we done a class that was called Social Media More Than Likes. So we presented that on a Sunday, so it was a 50-minute block. And then also on that Wednesday, we presented our training position and how we're doing our in-house training with our certified telecommunicators and doing our own CTO training. And that is a big deal because a lot of people have issues with that, because in dispatch, unfortunately, there's just a very high turnover rate. And I'm knock on wood because we're fully staffed and have been for a few months, and that's very unheard of. So we're also very proud. Look, they're all like, so that's unheard of. But we have really good morale right now. We have really good training, and we're offering a lot, and we're trying to keep up with the competitive pay. But being at that conference was wonderful to go out of state and show them how Madison County does it and get such reception. And we had several people reach out to us. The classes, they were very attentive. I was a little nervous, I'm not going to lie, coming from Kentucky, and I tried not to say y'all too much, but it happened. But it was a great conference. We had a great learning experience, and we took a lot away from their conference that, you know, we can bring to ours. And we'll also be presenting at the Kentucky conference in September. Hopefully those 2 sessions and maybe a little something more, and then an actual national conference is on our sites for next year.
Yeah, that's good. I'm proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Any questions, comments?
Just keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wendy. Next is a first reading of ordinance 2023-02. This is a land use change at 3502 and 3506 Lexington Road from UC1 to single-family residential to a PUD, UC11 plan use development. Now, before we actually read this ordinance,
Yeah, let me just, so it is a first reading, but before we read this, I want to make the court aware of some issues or concerns that have come up from some of the neighbors in the area out there close to where this zone change was proposed. A group of neighbors, I believe, has retained Mr. Ecton, and I'll let you know I'll let him tell you who he represents, but he sent a note to the judge's office concerning some of the notification requirements. So you all know when we have a zone change, we're required to make notice to the public, right? We send letters to the adjacent property owners, we put a sign on the property, we put an advertisement in the newspaper. They have some concerns about the way that was advertised, and in turn, if it wasn't advertised properly, whether or not people had the opportunity to voice their concerns. One of them, like I said, was about the sign. The sign said zone change hearing. Our regulations say land use hearing. I've always been told that those terms are interchangeable. One means the same as the other. You flip-flop back and forth. I have signs in my office that say land use. I have signs in my office that say zone change. So that's my comment on that. The sizing of the letters and the condition of the sign. The letters were the appropriate size. It was a repurposed sign. We use our signs multiple times, so we get more bang for our buck, right? Those signs are a couple $100 a piece. So we do reuse those signs for multiple hearings. We change the date, change the time, location if necessary. So it was a used sign, but it did meet the requirements of the lettering sizes that are spelled out in our ordinance. There was a concern about the way the sign was hung. Their comment was that the sign is required to be 3 feet above the ground. That's not what the regulation says. The regulation says it has to be 3 feet above anything that might hinder its view. And there was nothing underneath this sign. I've got a picture of it that shows the sign was completely visible. There were some concerns about the letters that went out to the property owners. The regulation does say those have to be certified mail 14 days in advance. They weren't certified mail. I can't tell you why they weren't certified mail. We don't send them certified mail. We haven't since I've been in this position. Early on, before I was in this position, we did do that, and at some point stopped doing it. I don't know why we stopped it, and then when I came in to this position, we kept doing it. I'm not a big, well, that's the way we've always done it guy, but that is the way we've always done it, but I can't tell you why. What I can tell you is that those letters did go out. They're going to say that they weren't within 14 days. I don't control the mail and when it gets delivered. I do know that the letters were typed up on February 1st. Some of them didn't get to the neighbors until the 13th or 14th, I believe is what they're saying. My comment to that was, okay, but they got them, right? If you're holding the letter in your hand that you're able to take a picture of, you got it, whether it was certified mail or not. I believe Mr. Ecton will tell you that that didn't give them appropriate time to be able to prepare their defense or their arguments, and that's not for me to say. What I can say is that we did have a public hearing. It was advertised. It was heavily attended. We sat and had probably an hour and a half of steady stream of neighbors from that area that were given the opportunity to share their concerns. They did. The Planning Commission listened to all of them, and at the end of the day, they made their recommendation that's contained in that ordinance. I think for y'all today, it's going to be a decision because the Planning Commission's position and the Planning Commission's attorney's position is that we've had our hearing, we've done our job, we've made our recommendation. The ball's in your all's court now, whether you want to hear that first reading or whether you think there were some problems with the advertising and you want to send it back to the Planning Commission to redo the hearing process again. My only suggestion would be that you listen to Mr. Ecton today, let him explain his concerns to you and his position on those, and that you also listen to Mr. Olds, who represents the applicant. I'm sure he'll have a different or a different take on those issues that he raises. Just listen to both of those parties, listen to both sides. We certainly want to be transparent, right? We don't want to even give the appearance of anything that being done improperly. So if it's your all's pleasure that we go back and redo the hearing, we'll do it. But I think we should give both parties the opportunity to speak to you today, and then I'll come back up and y'all can let me know what you want to do.
Is that the pleasure of the court? That's what I wanted. I didn't want to be the one to make this decision. It was already on the agenda when we got the information from Mr. Ecton, and so I didn't want to be the one to make that decision. I felt like it's a fiscal court decision. Fiscal court has not acted inappropriately, right? If there's anybody that has, and maybe that's subject to an opinion, it'd be the Planning Commission, and so.
Well, it wouldn't be the Planning Commission, it'd be my office. I mean, the Planning Commission, they were under the impression of the regulations say if those things aren't done, then the item must be removed for the agenda. The Planning Commission was of the opinion and the understanding that they had been done, so they had the hearing. So if there's anybody to blame, it's me. It's not.
But the only thing in the well, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Let's at this time, is that pleasure of the court to hear from?
Yes.
Walt, do you want to address the court? And Walt, if you don't mind,
Thank
just
you.
tell us who you're representing.
Yes, I represent They call themselves the Neighbors for Deliberate Development. The two representative members are Alvina Maynard and Chris Freddy, and they also represent the 200 members of the Neighbors for Deliberate Development. Judge, may I ask, I sent you, of course it was late, I sent you the affidavits that they sent and pictures of the notice and all that. Did the court also get those pictures?
No.
Okay. Well,
I've got it all right here. You know, I
okay.
printed it.
Yeah, and I'll apologize for the lateness of all this, but with regard to the notice that wasn't given, or the deficiencies, and I guess I'd put it that way. It is supposed to be by statute, by regulation, by our regulations, sent by certified mail. It was not. It was supposed to be sent out 14 days in advance. And the purpose for that, of course, is that they have proper notice so that they can prepare, present a defense, organize a defense, research, and in this case, I think hire counsel. The only notice that we had on the envelope that was presented was that it touched the post office 8 days before the hearing, not 14. We don't know exactly when it was delivered, sometime after that. But I presented a picture of the letter that one of the property owners retained, miraculously, really. It shows that it was mailed first class, and it shows that it was stamped on February 1st, but the post office didn't get it until February 13th, 18 days before, 8 days before the hearing. And I presented, I think it was 6 affidavits of surrounding property owners and adjacent property owners, and 3 of them said that they felt like they were prejudiced, which is something that needs to have happened for us to send it back to planning and zoning, because they didn't have time to prepare, organize, research, hire an attorney, and so they felt like they were prejudiced in their presentation. I think there were a number of people that showed up, but they didn't have the skills to go through the comprehensive plan and the land management map to know exactly what they were arguing about. So they felt like they were prejudiced, and I've reviewed it, and I have set it out in my motion. I believe they were too, Judge. With regard to, that's with regard to the mailing. The other is with regard to the sign. And it does say the bottom of the sign is to be 3 feet above any vegetation or debris or anything like that. I mean, we could call it vegetation grass, but the basic gist of that is that it's to be 3 feet above the ground so everybody can see it. It makes no sense in my mind to say that it has to be 3 feet above the vegetation or the rocks, and not say that it needs to be 3 feet off the ground if there is no vegetation or rocks. The other thing is, and we have in the group of deliberate development, Neighbors for Deliberate Development, we have I'm going to call him an engineer, and he has taken the pictures of the sign that I submitted and the letters and numbers identifying what the zone change is from UC1 to UC11 PUD. They're all in 1 inch as opposed to the 3-inch lettering that was supposed to have been there. There is the thing about the improper wording, but I think the smaller lettering of what was going on, plus, if you look at it's a kind of a tape-on thing. I think if I were driving past it, I'd look at it and think it was an old sign and pay scant attention to it. You just have to look at the sign, and I'd be glad to pass around my copy if that would help. But I do have affidavits from several of the neighbors that said, and one of them is, this was her degree, and she urban planning. And she said, and her husband, who's a lawyer, said they never saw the sign. And there were several others that said they never saw and didn't get notice. So I think there was prejudice. I think that the
Well, I don't know if that particular person would get a notice, though, correct?
the sign would
Oh,
be
the
there.
sign
The
would
sign
be there.
would be
But
there.
if they don't drive down that end of Lexington Road, they might not see it, right? If they come out of their subdivision and turn right and head to Richmond, they might not ever see this sign.
I never asked them their past and travel. They just told me, I don't know how I didn't see it.
Yeah.
And said they traveled that way. I don't know that that's in the affidavit, but
Yeah, okay.
but they didn't see it and felt like they were prejudiced. There were a couple in there that did the same thing.
Okay.
And so, no, they wouldn't have gotten the notice by certified mail, so that may have been their only notice, and they didn't have
Yeah,
it.
okay. All right.
So I would request that this be, the statute also says, as Mr. Thomas says, that if you don't meet the notice requirement, it's to be stricken from the agenda. I would submit that based on that it go back to planning and zoning or to the applicant so that proper notice can be sent out so that they can put on a proper defense before planning and zoning, so that in this case, planning and zoning has all the information. I don't know exactly what information planning and zoning had. I do know that there are provisions in the comprehensive plan that says no PUD zoning more than 5 miles from the fire department, Madison County Fire Department that will serve, and it's 7.2, I think it is, miles from there. The developer was talking about apartment complexes. You talked in the resolution about how critical it was to get to a fire or a crime or whatever.
Yeah, but I don't know if that information really has anything to do with us hearing this today or not.
I'm just saying it was complex.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, I think here from a standpoint, we're deciding whether we move forward in the first reading so that we can have a second reading. Of course, coming from a planning commission, that's a recommendation from a planning commission to the fiscal court. Planning commission can't make a zone change, right? It's only a recommendation. So, I would like to hear from the applicant as well, if you have nothing else, Mr.
Judge, I think that was it. It just seemed like to me.
And then we'll hear from them, and then we'll try to determine what's the best way to proceed that somewhat maybe satisfies both parties.
Sure.
Okay?
Thank you, Your
Yeah,
Honors.
appreciate you. Mr. Olds, if you'd like to come up.
Mr. Taylor, members of the court, Ms. Heyman, Stuart Olds, I represent the applicant in this case, JAR Development. Pretty quick comments, I think. Mr. Ecton's comment that there has to be some prejudice shown. I think that's the important thing here and what I want to focus on. If you look at what he's filed, all the folks that have filed affidavits say they got the notice and they saw the sign. So they're trying to suggest to you that some technical issue somehow prejudiced them. I'll suggest to you it didn't, because there was a large crowd there at the Planning Commission hearing. As Mr. Thomas indicated, about an hour and a half of comments. So the neighborhood was well represented. I think the neighborhood's comments were all presented. I don't think there's anything else that one more neighbor could have said that the Planning Commission didn't hear. The other thing I would suggest to you is if you look at Mr. Ecton's memorandum, one of the things it says right in the body of it is non-compliance with procedural requirements may be excusable or curable, such as when there has been actual notice, there was, and no material prejudice. They got the notices, they saw the sign, they were there, so no prejudice, right? The other thing I think is important is to recognize how you all handle these. So the Planning Commission has a public hearing that's noticed, and people are given the opportunity to be there and be heard. As I understand the law, you all then have a choice. You can adopt the findings of the Planning Commission and make a decision based upon those findings that they've made, or you can choose to have your own public hearing. Don't know what you intended in this case, but in the past, when I've been before you, you all have chosen to allow the public to be present and conduct your own hearing and base your findings based upon what you've heard from those folks. If that's what you're going to do in this case on the second reading, anybody that wants to be present and assert an objection is willing to be there and assert that objection. You'll base your findings on that. So those folks certainly will not have been prejudiced. They've got another shot at being here and indicating what they want, don't want. And Mr. Thomas told all the folks at the Planning Commission that there would be another hearing before you guys, and they would have the opportunity to be present and present all of those objections and concerns and issues at that time. So I think the important part today is very technical requirements about letter sizing and whether it's a foot off the ground or 3 feet off the ground. All their affidavits, if you look at them, say we got the notices, they were postmarked February 1, don't know when they got them, we saw the sign, but, okay, no prejudice. So I'd ask you to go ahead with the first reading today and let us proceed with this. There's no basis for going back to the Planning Commission. You all are going to let these folks comment again. You're going to hear them. They're going to get their shot at telling you why they are concerned today. Thank you all.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, that's the problem with lawyers. Both of them are very convincing, isn't it?
Both very good attorneys, yes.
They cancel each other out, just listen to me.
Who thinks he's an attorney? I will tell you.
So what thoughts from members of the court? Counselor?
Okay, so this is what I'll tell the court. And the court knows I'm a rule follower. I would like the details to be followed. I think it's easy in the future. I think Bert and I have discussed there can be some cleaning up on it, or we can relook at changing the ordinance. But at the end of the day, I do believe that on the technicality issue, you are not the reviewer of that technicality issue. That is a court's decision to make. The reason it comes before the fiscal court is for you all to determine whether or not the recommendations from planning and zoning meet that comprehensive plan. So legally, I do think it's probably more of a substantial compliance issue, but that's for a judge above me to say. So my recommendation would be you have the first reading, move forward, and at the second reading, make the determination on whether or not the finding is compliant with planning and zoning's recommendation and our comprehensive plan.
Okay. Any questions, comments? The second reading, there has been a request to have the second reading on, I don't remember the date. It's the fourth Tuesday, April 25th. So that would actually be the second reading. And I'm good with that. I like it probably better just because they had to put it back here in Richmond and it wouldn't make a zone change. Sure. Mm-hmm.
Derek, you want to come up and get on the mic?
We're getting in the pretty technical weeds here on those.
Normally, I would have no objection to whenever anybody wants to hear this, but as you know, we were here about a year ago and we got a plat that shows all this property as single-family residential. We've not recorded that plat, and that plat under your regulations is only good for a year. We have to, so on the 24th of April, that plat will no longer be any good. And we're trying to make some decisions about what we do with this property before then. Do we go ahead and record that plat? How do we proceed? So if we delay this hearing until the 25th, we're going to be beyond that date.
Don't our regulations allow us to give a 6-month extension, Bert?
Yeah, we can give
That, that solves my concern with that, if we can get an extension.
Be good. All right, well, thank you all very much for your time. I appreciate your comments and helping us make sure that we're doing what we should be doing. Thank you, Counselor. Appreciate you as well.
My
So,
apologies for us being in this position.
Sir, we'll let this one go this time.
So I have a comment. We go to great extents, in my opinion, in our regulations, in our admin codes, in our departments, in the way that they follow their rules and regs to make sure, in my opinion, that we do what we say we're going to do, and we do it when we say we're going to do it. I've heard both sides, and I can see why the objections are one and why the objections are for the other way, but yet, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, I don't think we followed our own procedure in the way that we do signage, in the way that we do notifications, in the way that if it says we're supposed to send out certification, certified letters, I don't care what we've been doing. If that's what it says in our documents, then that's what we should do. And so for me personally, I say we send it back. That's my opinion.
Judge, before we go any further, can I get a motion? Please.
A motion.
On what
We've not.
this
We haven't
court's
read it
going
yet.
to do?
We haven't read the,
Well, we haven't read the ordinance yet. So
I'm not talking about the ordinance. I'm talking about you're making a procedural decision here of this body, and it's just, there's talk everywhere, and there's not any real, for the minutes, we need, just like we'd handle every other issue, this is not on the agenda, which means you can add anything you want to on the agenda, but we need a clear, what do we, and then all the discussion can happen after that and vote.
Okay. All right, so if we need a motion to, then we need a motion to have a discussion about how we move forward with zone, but it's not on the agenda.
It doesn't have to be. Nobody approved this agenda. We didn't vote to approve this agenda before court.
Okay.
You
So
can
do I have
add
a
anything
motion?
on this
Do I have a motion then?
I
How to
think we need a
move forward.
motion, Judge, to send it back, because the agenda says we're gonna read it. So if we're gonna deviate from that, you need a motion to send it back, and then you can have your discussion, and Tom can make his comments, and anybody else can comment at that point. If you're not gonna make that motion or pass that motion, then we follow the agenda and read the ordinance.
So I'll make the motion that we send this back to Planning Commission.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, now, do we have any discussion?
I too have some challenges with that we need to do things the way we're supposed to do them. And I understand, and I'm not trying to be critical of Bert or the department or anything, but, you know, if we're going to come here and to stay out of lawsuits and this type of thing at the fiscal court area, then I think we have to follow the rule of law. And the biggest part that concerns me, because this is in my district, is notification. You know, I'm not worried about the sign. The sign was there. You can read it. You know, if you want to make technical things on the sign, then go for it. I'm not going to stand for that from a perspective of supporting it. But notification, I do believe, is critical to the public and the constituents, that they get notified on anything that's going to change. So that's my position.
Any other comments? Yeah, my fear is just, it's with this situation is it, it's not whether we're gonna get sued or not, because with what's happened, we could get sued either way as a court, right? And we could get sued because we didn't by the applicant, or we could get sued because, but the whole point here is we gave notice, people got the notice, they had the opportunity to come to a planning commission meeting, and the planning commission doesn't decide, they just recommend. All these citizens are getting the opportunity, to come to a second reading. And we're actually even just determined that, hey, we're giving even more time, because we could have a second reading in 2 weeks from now. We're actually giving a whole nother month to allow those citizens to be able to get with their attorneys or, get the information that they want. And I feel like we're postponing the inevitable. It's already gone through the planning and zoning process. So all we're doing is saying, go back to the planning commission, get another unanimous decision, do all the technicalities correctly, to then come back to us in May. I think it's a good compromise to allow 2 extra weeks for the second reading. Both parties have agreed to that. You know, we make mistakes. Our people make mistakes. You know, it's part of getting up and going to work every day.
Well, here's the thing, though. The planning commission, they're trained to make the decision. They're supposed to have 14 days notice to be able to present their case, and they say they didn't have enough time to present their evidence to say why the zoning change couldn't be done. Now, what Mr. Old said, and it almost makes sense to me, but it would put us in the position of being the planning commission, which we don't have that training, and I'm inclined to send it back to the planning commission because they got the training, and if Mr. Ecton can provide evidence that can convince them that this proposed change does not meet the comprehensive plan, they're the ones that will make that interpretation, not us. I mean, I don't like sending it back. I wish we didn't have to, but there's a motion and a second, and it's kind of a mess. but-
So Bert, what happened at the planning commission
You mean what happened
meeting?
at the
Yeah.
hearing?
Yeah, the hearing, what happened? Did they have,
Mr. Olds presented the applicant's side of their interpretation of the comp plan and the development of the property, and then the public was given an opportunity to share their concerns about traffic and drainage and detention and retention and density and everything that is part of a zone change hearing, and we listened to the planning commission listened to all those comments.
But they didn't have an attorney, though. The residents didn't have
I
an
don't know if
attorney.
any of them were attorneys or not. Nobody introduced themselves as representing any of the neighbors. There was a lot of people there that were quoting items or language from the comp plan, so somebody had done some research there. But whether they're trained as an attorney or not, I don't know. I don't know that.
okay. All right. We do have a motion and a second to send this back to the planning commission. So any more discussion? All right, hearing none, call the roll.
Master Lockmiller,
Yes.
Master Hughes,
Yes.
Master Botkin,
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll
Thank
send it
y'all.
back. Thank you. Next, Resolution 2023-31. This is a Madison County Ethics Board appointment.
This is a resolution for the appointment of the Madison County Fiscal Court to the Madison County Ethics Board, whereas Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the appointment of Madison County Ethics Board members, whereas the Madison County Ethics Board has a vacant board member position, and whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has found that Chad Hembry as fit for the position as board member of the Madison County Ethics Board. Now therefore be it resolved that the Fiscal Court does hereby approve Chad Hembry as a Madison County Ethics Board member.
Do I have a motion and a second for Resolution 2023-31?
Make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Hughes,
Yes.
Master Botkin.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Master Lockmiller.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Resolution 2023-32, Madison County Ethics Board appointment.
A resolution for the appointment of the Madison County Fiscal Court to the Madison County Ethics Board, whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the appointment of Madison County Ethics Board members, whereas the Madison County Ethics Board has a vacant board member position, and whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has found Reverend Tim Jones as fit for the position as board member of the Madison County Ethics Board. Now therefore it be resolved that the Fiscal Court does hereby approve Tim Jones as a Madison County Ethics Board member.
All right, thank you, Jill. Y'all heard Resolution 2023-32.
Make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Can we tell us, do we know whose vacant spot this was?
Tim Jones is Bill Ray's.
Said was filling a vacant board member, so we didn't have anybody from that district previously.
I'm sorry?
Did we not have
Yeah,
anyone
we
previously?
did. We had one filling every position, but some of those people aren't showing up to a meeting.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to replace those ethics board members. So this is a appointment from Billy Wright.
Okay,
And the other one was Brian's appointment.
okay, good, thank you.
And we need one from District 4 as well. So,
Would you like that now?
well, I can't right this second, you know, gotta put it on the agenda.
I know.
But I would love it, yes. So, any other conversation? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you, Jill, appreciate it. Next is Resolution 2023-33. This is a discontinuance of roads, North Approach Road and Old Simpson Lane. Scott?
Morning. Resolution 2023-33, a resolution approving the discontinuance of North Approach Road and Old Simpson Lane. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the maintenance of Madison County roadways, and whereas the property owners on North Approach Road and Old Simpson Lane have requested the roads be removed from the county road system, and whereas KRS 178.070 outlines the process a county uses for discontinuance of county roadways, and whereas all of North Approach Road 645 feet and Old Simpson Lane 1,216 feet will be removed from the county road system and returned to the property owners. Now therefore it be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to execute same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Scott. Y'all heard Resolution 2023-33. I need a motion and a second to approve, please.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
Judges, when it talks about the process for the county, what is that exactly? There's got to be signage when you do
There
this?
is. Yeah, we have to put out signage, and there's actually two, I think, two different statutes you can follow when you're discontinuing roads. This particular one requires our road commissioners, which I think we have a letter from a road
I
commissioner.
do have a letter from road
Yeah.
commissioner if you'd like to know their stance on it.
We have two road commissioners, and they're the ones that really have, I guess, a non-biased opinion. They'll get with Scott sometimes and go out and look at county roads. Should they stay county roads, right? Is it for a public purpose? And so I know the signs went out, and then Jimmy looked at, one of our road commissioners looked at the roadway. There is no issue with this situation at all. I mean, there's no public purpose. The old BP and the McDonald's that's there, it was actually on two separate lots. So when the state came in and redid the interchange there over the interstate, we had to keep that one section of Simpson Lane open because the BP would have been landlocked. So that was the only way to get that little spur. You came down, I think they call it North Approach Road, and got on Simpson Lane to get up to the BP. Well, the BP and the McDonald's actually are going to consolidate those two lots into one lot. And that's going to be the new Kentucky Boats. All right, and so that approach road now gives them access to that lot from the newest part of Simpson Lane. And so there's no sense, if we keep it, then we're basically maintaining somebody's driveway. There's really no point in it. So it allows us to get rid of that footage of county roads. Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if we had to have second reading or anything on this. It was just, okay.
No, it's not required. No. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, call the roll.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Scott. And then there will be, at some point too, obviously, that it'll allow me to sign a plat. There'll be a new plat done and recorded and all that, so, on that. Next, Resolution 2023-34. It's another board appointment to the Madison County EMS Board.
This is a resolution for the appointment of the Madison County Fiscal Court to the Madison County EMS Board. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the appointment of Madison County EMS Board members. Whereas the current term for Jill Cornelison is set to expire April 1st, 2023. And whereas Jill Cornelison has proved her capability in serving as a member of the Madison County EMS Board and is willing to continue to serve in this capacity. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has found Jill Cornelison as fit for the position as board member of the Madison County EMS Board. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Fiscal Court does hereby approve Jill Cornelison as a Madison County EMS Board member.
Motion to approve resolution 2023-34, Judge.
Second.
Thank you all very much. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Lockmiller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. The next thing on the agenda needs to be stricken from the agenda. We're not going to hear the resolution 2023-35 today. I'm really not sure why, but we'll be moving it to the next court. That's just what I was told this morning. So next on the agenda is personnel. Good morning.
Good morning. I would like to propose the approval of all personnel changes and new hires that are included within your court packet.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Have any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmiller?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Thanks, Morgan. Next is judge's report. Try to make it somewhat short. My phone's blowing up over here. People are calling me. They need me today. I do want to congratulate EKU's basketball team. I don't know if anybody was able to watch them in their postseason tournament. They were on TV. You had to get flow hoops if you wanted to watch the first couple games. Then they got to be on ESPN2 in the tire discounter tournament. And so if anybody got to watch that, man, it was some exciting basketball. And I was very proud of our Colonels for being the only state college team that was playing in March Madness, or still playing in March Madness, I guess, at that time. So very proud of them. They were exciting to watch this year. Also, I want to recognize Blake Vickers. Blake is going to be leaving us at the Richmond Register and moving on with, I'll say, a promotion to KET. I'm proud of you, man. I appreciate your engagement and your dedication to this community in all the things you've done, especially for Madison County and the fiscal court and the relationship. Man, I just want to recognize you and thank you and wish you well. I know you'll do great things.
You will be missed. You've done a great job.
Next, Berea Parks and Recreation is hosting an Autism Sensory Day on Saturday, April 1st from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Folk Center there in Berea. For more information, call 986-9402. Richmond Parks and Recreation is hosting an Easter egg extravaganza. It's Easter extravaganza. Eggs extravaganza, I guess is how I should pronounce it. On Saturday, April 8th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Lake Reba softball fields. Contact Richmond Parks and Recreation for more information. And then Berea Kiwanis Club is hosting an Easter egg hunt on Saturday, April the 8th at Berea Skate Park. Activities begin at 10 a.m. Visit the Berea Kiwanis Club Facebook page for more information. Leadership Madison County is hosting Coffee and Conversation open house benefiting Redeeming Hope on Wednesday, April the 12th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. at Purdy's Coffee on West Main Street in Richmond. I guess some people do drink coffee at 4:30, 6:30.
Some do, they tell me.
Yeah, I can't. That would keep me up all night. Kirksville Community Center's annual spring gathering, craft, and vendor show will be Saturday, April the 15th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Visit Kirksville Community Center's Facebook page for further details. And that's the end of my report. Comments from Madison's? Brian?
Just one announcement. April 3rd through the 7th, we'll have a trash hopper out on 2809 Highway 1016 for the folks in Bobtown section to get rid of some of their trash as people start to clean up around springtime. Other than that, Judge, I'm just glad to be here.
Glad you're here, buddy. Yes, sir.
Nothing really, Judge, other than I heard last week or earlier this week, and I don't think it's necessarily physical court information, but I want to make sure the public understands that I heard that Boone's Trace golf course went private, and there may be citizens out there that don't know that they've gone private. Therefore, it's not a public golf facility anymore. So I just want to make sure the public was aware of that.
Yeah, thank you, buddy, appreciate it. Billy Ray.
We've got this empty bowls this Friday, and the folks that it's raising money for God's Food Bank, and I was there yesterday, Senior Citizens Day yesterday, and the cars lined up all day long. Food insecurity is a real deal here in Madison County among senior citizens, because a lot of people are on fixed income and the inflation is shot through the roof. And you got good, fine, upstanding citizens that, having a hard time making ends meet. And I just, we need to support this Empty Bowls this Friday, but it's a real deal, and it's not getting better. I fear that food insecurity is a problem that's continuing to grow. We're right here even in Madison County, so I appreciate the work of Empty Bowls, but it's a concern.
Yeah, it definitely is, Billy Ray. God's Pantry, they got a grant that they're doing that distribution center, and so that's not even going. That's even going to other counties. And so there definitely is. Good words, Tom.
Just a couple of things, Judge. I think we all received an update from the jail on their numbers and monies and this and that and the other. One of the things that's in that report that concerns me, and it was in there last month, it was in there again this month, is the fact that they had to Narcan 3 inmates. That seemed like a simple line there, but what that indicates is that we've got drugs in our jail in a controlled environment. I've got a lot of concerns about that. And I'm not the jailer, I'm not telling him how to run the jail, but I would like to see our sheriff, we've got dogs that are available. I'm sure the sheriff would work with our jailer to take the dogs through the jail over there as a deterrent. I don't know if it would help, but it certainly can't hurt anything. And I just wanted to mention that. The other thing I wanted to...
if I could.
Yep.
You and I discussed that at the conference that we went to, and I want to throw my support for that idea, Sheriff, and Judge. If we've got the resources and we can go over there once a week or whatever, then it may very well help us over there at the jail. And if we've got the resources and the qualifications, which we do, I'd like to see that considered as well.
The last thing I had, Judge, is that on March the 25th, Bo Thomas Botkin, 8 pounds and 8 ounces, 21 inches long, was added to the Klan.
That's awesome.
I'll tell you now, he's the prettiest of them all, and I'm not prejudiced.
When was he born?
He was born on the 25th.
So Saturday.
Oh, yeah, he's a dandy.
Yeah.
He sure is. I had him last night all night long. They had come take, we need to let somebody else hold him. Well, that's not right. I'm his grandpa. But anyway,
Congratulations, Tom.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
he's a dandy. He sure is. And Alex and Casey are both doing well, and they're home, and so we're tickled to death.
Now, did Daniel, did they get to stay?
And Daniel and them did they came up from North Carolina and
Yeah.
got to see them, and so it worked out well.
Well, I know everybody's here waiting. Y'all were.
We didn't think that she went a couple days past her due date, and so we was getting a little nervous there, but
That's great.
But it worked out well. Anyone needs me, they can reach me at 200-9765, Judge.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. Counselor, you good? Kenny?
Yep, we've got announcement, the remodel's wrapping up, probably gonna wrap it up this week. And we will be closed on Good Friday the 7th. We're normally open half day, we're gonna be closed that day, we're gonna be closed on the 10th. In order for the state to come and move our motor vehicle computers, which is required, and set the network up. And I've only been closed half a day since I've been in office, other than holidays or weather. And I didn't want to close these, but there's no way around it with the shortage of equipment. We can't duplicate the equipment in both places. We have to take it, turn it off, move it from one, move it to another. So we're taking off a little extra time to make sure that everything's up and running before we throw the lights on Tuesday morning on the 11th, and we can take care of everybody. So we'll be moving our front line computers and that kind of thing in, and people down there, so we can start serving the public again. And we'll continue to move what I've been calling the stuff after that. So and once we're drop dead, we need to be out, people out 17th. I won't throw too many dates out, we'll get confusing.
Can
But
you
anyway,
tell whether people were using that online renewal is that ticking up any?
It goes up all the time, yeah. It goes up all the time. And if we can get, I've talked about this before, but if we can get the legislation changed so that there's no increase in price for someone to renew online because of the credit card charge, then it will take over, I'm sure. But people, when you're paying taxes on a vehicle and you're driving a 23 model Cadillac Escalade, that 3% can be a pretty big number. So if we can get that changed, it'll go through the roof. And that's one of the anticipations of us moving to this smaller footprint. We've got more space for the customers, more space for our people, but it's a smaller footprint office, and that's one of the things we encourage people to do what they can online without coming down. But if you need to come down, we're the only place that can help you. Come right on.
Yeah. Does that affect Berea as well as they?
Berea's open normal. They're open normal. So if there's something, and we're sending an extra person to Berea, we'll have 3 in Berea all day on both those days. Glad you said it, Brian. Thank you. So if there's something that you've got to get done, I hate to inconvenience somebody with them having to drive from Richmond to Berea, but that office will be open with 3 deputy clerks there ready to take care of anybody.
21st.
21st drop dead. So
Yeah,
so-
it's a Friday.
And
We're be out of the courthouse.
And we're backing up past that one. We'll be all right at 21st. But there's just a lot of, when you've got hundreds of 5 and 6 pound books to move full of paper, it's, that's going to be the next challenge. But we'll get set up. We'll be closed those 2 days, but we'll be back open the 11th and ready to take care of everybody. And it's 321 North Madison Avenue. We are getting signage together. We're going to have flyers at the courthouse in those little information boxes. As long as there's construction up there, I'd imagine, because it takes, we could go through a yearly cycle of folks. So, they came, we're also handing out things as people are renewing now to remind them next year. But we'll do all we can to make it as smooth as possible.
Kenny, did they get the boat registration decals straightened out?
They're at R.R. Donnelly, and they're supposed to ship, I think, tomorrow. And they come UPS, so we'll get them pretty fast.
And their current decal's good until the end of April still, is that correct?
Yeah, but we tried not to, March is farm plates, April's boats, then you get into motorhomes, campers. So we try not to cram any of that together. We try to keep it as spread as possible, but with the supplier, there was a problem, and it's a printer problem too. We had 4 printers that would still print on the decals. So if somebody came in, we still tried to take care of them by one of those certain printers.
Yeah, good.
All right. Sheriff, you good? Good.
I'm good, but if the request of the court, I'll be glad to on his request. I just want to walk over and say we're going to be searching the jail. On his request, be glad to. Brother, obviously, to do that. The court as well. Good practice.
Yep.
On the toes. We have an extra canine program in our court right now. We also have a bomb dog. It's in training. And we have a rehab dog that's popular around the hospitals and churches and schools. Glad to see.
All right. Thank you, Sheriff. Comments from department heads? Anybody need to? No? All right. Audience comments?
I got one.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, Lord, I gotta go up there.
Yep.
This is gonna feel weird. I mean, they're not gonna have me on much, I look like a werewolf. All right. Like Reagan said, I'm leaving. My last day working here is gonna be Friday, but I just wanted to say thank y'all for working with me here. As a journalist, one thing that we really appreciate is when people actually pick up the phone when we call them, whether it's good news or bad news, and you all have always been good for that. So seriously, bottom of my heart, thank you all for everything. You've been so kind. And I want to give a shout out to her because, listen, whenever Taylor Six left last year and I took over the government beat, before Taylor was even officially gone, I got a text from Jill and just said, hey, I got you. I'm going to keep you informed on everything, and she has. So seriously, clap for Jill. But again, I'm still living in the county, I'm probably just going to keep living here. But so seriously, thank you all for everything. Thanks for letting me come in here wearing metal concert T-shirts all the time rather than dressing professionally. And to the people watching online, thanks for staring at the back of my head. So thank you all.
Appreciate you, Blake. Good luck. It's good. Any other audience comments? And you said, Jill, we don't have any Facebook comments? No, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Hey, that's another round of applause right there.
Well, maybe you need to repeat that so it goes out.
Yeah, it said that our county road supervisor, Scott Shepherd, was doing a good job. So appreciate you, Scott. All right, next, need a motion to pay the claims and approve the transfers.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next meeting will be April the 11th, 2023. That'll be back down in Berea, Berea City Hall. Again, next meeting will be April the 11th, 2023, back down in Berea, and that'll be at 9:30 a.m. I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.